Yo, I wanted to do a quick video about some finer tips of spin top throwing. This assumes you already know how to wind up your spin top, how to do your basic throw, and even really how to do a boomerang. So what I'm going to cover in this video is how to change the orientation of a top. If the top is landing crooked, not straight up and down, we're going to talk about how to correct for that. And we're also going to talk about how to balance a top in your hand. So the first thing, a top will land opposite of the orientation from which it's released in general. So in general, when you release a top like this, it should land like that. If you release a top like this, it's going to land with the crown tipping that way. If you release a top like that, it's going to land with the crown tipping that way. So the direction of the tilt of the crown and the direction you want to tilt the crown if you're trying to correct is indicated by the direction of the tip or the direction you tilt the tip. So let's take an example. If I release the top and it's constantly landing like this, that means I want to correct the top so it's landing more like this. So in my case, I want to rotate it in this direction towards the center of my body. So when I'm releasing the top, even if I'm releasing like this, that means I need to rotate the tip in the same direction. So to get that correction, this means that sometimes when you release a top, you've got it in your hand like this, it might land like this. So that means you need to correct your release. And that means that if you're releasing like this and it's landing like this, you want to correct this way. You want to correct your release that way. Similarly, if you're landing like this all the time, it means that when you release, you want to adjust more this way. So now as I'm releasing, I want to adjust more that way. So this is kind of what you want to play with your release angle. Might not be straight up and down. If you're landing constantly like this, you might need to rotate it this way. And it is true with bigger tops, I always have to rotate more towards the inside of my body. So that's the first thing. If you find that you're landing askew, rotate your tip the same direction you would want to rotate the crown of the top from the landing. And that is how you would correct that. So here, I know with larger tops, I do land that way. So I'm going to rotate a little more inward, a lot inward, in fact. The next thing I'm going to show you is correcting the direction of a top. And for this, I'm using a bearing spin top so that we can talk about it while it spins. I won't lose spin. This is a Sweetle from Chris Neff, an amazing spin top that converts from bearing to fixed. So the direction, like with a broom, if it started to tilt, you would move in the direction under the top of the broom to correct the tilt. But you can see with a top what that does, and you probably experienced it yourself, is it makes the tilt worse. With a top, you want to actually move in the direction of the tip. So when you're first starting out, wait till the tip is pointing like, let me get it going bad. Wait until the tip is pointing like in a direction. For me, when I started, it was to the left. So I just waited till that tip pointed to the left and I moved to the left. And if that doesn't correct it, wait again till the tip's pointing to the left and move to the left. And that will correct it at the start. Eventually, you'll learn on a right-handed thrower, you're making small counterclockwise motions because that's what this top of the top is doing as it precesses. That top is moving counterclockwise, so you're going to move counterclockwise in the direction of the tip. So you just go exactly with the tip, and you'll get to where you just make these little counterclockwise circles with your hand, and it corrects spin. But that's the general way to correct this spin, is if you land it off center, or if it is off center, like if it's way off center, just wait till it's pointing one direction and move in that direction. And that will correct your spin. And eventually you'll learn to rotate your hand. It's a small circular motion to get under. And it's really not to get under the top. If you think it that way, you're going to do it wrong. It's to move in the direction of the tip, and that will balance the top. So anyways, hope that's helpful as you continue on your Spintop journey. If not, hit me up in the comments. Let me know what else you might need to work on, and we'll do it.